Welcome to the AH-64D Basic 30mm Gun Area Weapon System Employment. We begin in flight north of Kutaisi Air Base at 500 feet AGL. You are in active pause. This training will be performed for both the pilot The training is recommended that you listen fully to each. Survey the co-pilot gunner cockpit. On the left MPD, you should see the weapons page. On the right MPD, you should see the TSD. On the HDU, the lower left corner shows C-HMD, co-pilot helmet mounted display. The lower right corner shows fixed. If everything is satisfactory, press the spacebar to continue. On the front console, toggle the Safe Arm button. Next, WAS up the gun. TDAC left hand grip. A glance at the left MPD will show the gun is armed to be fired from the co-pilot gunner position. Finally, check the left side of the weapon page to see burst limit is set to 10 rounds. Press spacebar to continue. The target is a group of insurgents at an airfield unloading weapons from a cargo plane. The specific targets are the insurgent trucks. The threat is small arms and RPGs, so this target will be engaged starting at about 2.5 kilometers. You will now enter the target point in the TSD. On the right MPD, begin by toggling the TSD nav mode to attack by pressing bottom 2. Select the point page with push button bottom 6. And toggle the cursor to the TSD and move the cursor over the target area as shown in the pop-up graphic. Then press cursor enter. You will notice a red T01 appear in the TSD. Press the spacebar to continue. Press bottom 6 point. Now you need to direct the pilot via George AI. Use the cursor to select T1. Press the spacebar to continue. With T01, the current fly-to point, bring up the George AI interface. When you do, you will see the fly-to symbol on the George AI compass. Use the George AI controls to set the heading bug to the fly-to point heading. Also set the George AI airspeed to 70. Finally, since the target will be engaged at a longer range, ensure George AI altitude is between 750 and 1,000 feet AGL. When you have accomplished these functions, switch back from the George AI interface.
Increasing altitude.
When you have returned to the normal cockpit view, press the spacebar to continue.
Increasing altitude. Copy. Increasing altitude.
Select T01 as the acquisition source. Slew the TDAC to T01. Target T01 is now the acquisition source. Set TADS as the site. On the right hand grip, switch the CPG site to TADS, and then press the slave button. This will shift the TADS view to the target area. However, the T01 point is likely not exactly over the target, and from 5 kilometers, the view of the target area may not be clear and or obstructed. You must move towards the target. As you close to the airfield, you will search the area, find the insurgent activity, and begin to aim at specific targets. When you're ready to fly and begin the attack, press the spacebar. Once the aircraft settles onto its new heading, press Slave to toggle it off. Use the right hand grip manual tracker button and left hand grip zoom buttons. Search the area near T01 until you find the C-130 and the insurgents unloading it. Focus on a group of targets and use the laser rangefinder to get an accurate range. Press the LRFD trigger on the right hand grip to the first indent to send a short laser range finding burst. On the TADS, when the LRFD activates, an X cross appears at the TADS crosshairs. When you have targeted the insurgent activity and gotten a good laser range, press the spacebar to continue. You will begin to engage the insurgents inside 3,000 meters at 40 knots, slowing to a hover at about 1,500 meters. To achieve this, when passing inside 3,000 meters, use George AI to set 40 knots, then toggle back to CPG and engage targets. When nearing 1,500 meters, use George AI to set 0 knots, then toggle back to the CPG and engage. When firing, press and hold the trigger until the entire burst is fired. Get quick range to target updates by pressing LRFD first indent, short burst.
Speed set. One down. Speed set.
Success! The insurgent arms delivery has been interdicted. You are in active pause. The next step is to employ the gun from the pilot's position. The pilot employs the gun for immediate suppression of threats to the aircraft. The scenario simulated for this part of the lesson. Press the spacebar when you're ready to continue. Change the waypoint to waypoint 02. On the TSD, press RTE, push button bottom 5, then DIR, push button left 4, and finally press on the HDU. You should now see W02 as the fly to point. Take control of the gun by pressing WAS up on the cyclic. The weapon page should confirm this status. Press the spacebar to continue. The back seat cannot make use of the laser rangefinder. On the keyboard unit display, the M adjacent to the field of regard box will have changed to A. The range value next to the field of regard box will also have changed. Look around outside the aircraft and note how the range changes in 100-meter intervals. When you're satisfied that you can aim the gun via the HDU with auto range data, press the spacebar to continue. When flying again, you will head towards waypoint 02. Climb to 1,300 feet AGL and establish 90 knots. When ready to do this, press the spacebar to resume flying. As you close in on waypoint 02, you detect an enemy AAA site that has just been deployed. Red smoke marker. Maintain your course and suppress the targets when within 1,500 meters. The AAA was suppressed and/or you are clear of the threat. This ends the basic gun tutorial. Press escape to exit or continue to fly. Welcome to the AH-64D AGM-114K Laser Guided Hellfire Missile Training. You begin in flight at 200 feet AGL. You are in active pause. You are armed with 8, unless otherwise indicated, most highlighted button presses and spacebar presses will immediately forward the lesson to the next step. On your first time through the training, it is recommended that you listen fully to each set of instructions before taking the action that will move the lesson forward. When ready to continue, press. Before beginning this training, you need to enter 3 targets into your TSD. They will be used as acquisition sources. For training convenience, the target points are located at the flight plan waypoints. To begin, on the right MPD TSD, press push button bottom 6 point. Then press push button. Toggle the cursor to the TSD and slew the cursor to the center of W01. Then press cursor enter. You should see target point information for T01 displayed in the window at the bottom of the TSD. When complete, press the spacebar to continue. Again on the right MPD TSD, press add left 2, then press TG left 6. Cursor over and center on W02, then press cursor enter. Once T02 has been entered, repeat the process for T03. Once this has been completed, back out of the point page by pressing point, bottom 6, and press the spacebar to continue. You see the 3 target attack will display at bottom 2. You should see 3 red target points, T01, T02, T03. WAS missiles. Press left-hand grip, WAS right. The left MPD weapon page shows the AGM-114 configuration. Important information boxes include sight, set to TAS, acquisition, set to fixed, laser spot tracker, set to channel A, laser range finder designator, set to channel A. Laser channel settings, channels, primary set to A, alternate set to B. When ready to continue, press the spacebar. On the right side of the weapon display, note the following. Type at right 1 is set to SAL. Mode at right 2 is set to norm. Trajectory at right 3 is set to DAR, direct. These settings are for a lock-on to engage the first target, a T-55 tank. Begin on the right MPD TSD by pressing. Note that in both the weapons display and the TAS will center on the T01 spot. To find the target, press slave again, then use the left-hand grip field of view controls and the right-hand grip manual track controller to find and zoom in on the target. When you have the T-55 centered and the TAD sight, press the spacebar. Illuminate the target with the Laser Range Finder Designator, LFRD, by pressing and holding the right hand grip LFRD trigger to the second detent. Note the range. It should read about 1500 meters. The small dash box will change to a larger solid line box called the low ball constraints box. This means the missile is tracking the coded laser energy and is ready to fire. Pull the right hand grip trigger to the first detent. As the missile fires, continue to hold the LRFD trigger at the second detent. Do not let go of the laser until missile impact. Note in the lower right of the TADS, a missile time of flight counter has begun. Watch for missile impact. Only then should you release the LFRD trigger. Then press the spacebar. The first shot was from active pause, which provides a completely stable hover. From now on, you will use George AI to provide a realistic hovering platform, one that moves a bit. Bring up the George AI interface, set the altitude to over 300 feet, ensure airspeed is 0. When George is correctly configured, toggle the George AI interface off.
Increasing altitude.
When ready to begin flying under George AI control, press the spacebar. The next target is at T02. SA-11 battery, just over 5,000 meters at your 12 o'clock. Specific targets are the Snowdrift Search Radar and SA-11 Command Vehicle. On the TSD, press Top 5, Chord. Then select T02, press right hand grip, Slave. Wait until George has brought the aircraft into a stable hover pointing towards T02. Press Slave again and use the manual track controller and field of view controls to find and target the Snowdrift radar. When you have the Snowdrift targeted, press the spacebar to continue. Press the LRFD trigger to the first detent to get a quick range to the target. It should be around 5,000 meters. At that distance and in daylight conditions, the TV optics can provide a closer view of the target. On the left hand grip, use the TADS sensor select switch to switch to TV. Readjust the aim and field of view as necessary. When you have the Snowdrift properly targeted, press the spacebar to continue. For this engagement, you'll use a high trajectory lock-on after launch low-owl shot. The low-owl firing sequence is 1. Hold the left-hand grip weapons firing trigger. Missile launch. 2. Watch the time of flight counter and count off 4 seconds. 3. Hold the LRFD trigger to the second detent and hold until missile impact. When you are ready to do these steps, shoot the missile. Count 4 seconds. Laze the target. LRFD to second detent and hold. Watch for missile impact. Only then release the LRFD trigger. Some of the SA-11 support vehicles will move to cover. Ignore them. Use manual track field of view to find and target the command vehicle. Repeat the high trajectory low-owl engagement against the command vehicle. next target is an armor column approaching from the southeast. On the TSD, select T03 by pressing top 5 forward, and then on the TADS in the field of regard box. Note that the field of view box has moved to the right. Bring up George AI and adjust your heading to bring the field of view box to the center of the field of regard. Look outside forward to find a red smoke marker and see that you are pointed in that general direction. When you have done this, exit the George A. The range to the T03 targets will be between 2,000 to 3,000 meters. On the weapon display, when the armor column appears, it will be moving along the road to your front. To engage moving targets, you will make use of the manual track controller in conjunction with the linear motion compensation (LMC) function. With LMC on, the longer you push on the manual track controller, the faster the TAD's view moves in that direction. Release the manual track controller and the TAD's movement continues at its last speed. To slow TAD's movement, press the manual track controller in the opposite direction. To stop TAD's movement, toggle LMC off. Press slave to free the manual track controller. Then press the left-hand grip LMC button or button you have mapped to a keyboard bind or your peripheral controller. Practice with small left and right, then up and down movements until you feel you can effectively set the TAD's slowing speed. When ready to continue, toggle LMC off. Reset the TAD's view, toggle slave on and off again. When ready to continue, press the spacebar. Sight the enemy armor, select a vehicle, and track it using manual track and LMC. With a good track, pull the LRFD trigger to the second D10. Get a good low-wall constraints box. Pull the weapon firing trigger. Keep LFRD on. If necessary, make small adjustments to keep tracking the target all the way to weapons impact. Congratulations! You have successfully engaged stationary and moving targets with the AGM-114K laser Hellfire missile. Press escape to exit the training or continue to fly.